Welcome to Work the Left Side. We have a True Grit show tomorrow, so obviously myself and Dan are here to discuss the matches. And yeah, we've got to be quick, man, because I need to get this uploaded because it's an early show tomorrow, so people won't have all day tomorrow to watch the Hype episode. They'll have like a few hours in the morning. So, dude, yeah. Well, firstly, how are you? You good?
Yeah, good man, good. Like the rest of us, just trying to find a way to survive this heat. How about yourself, dude?
Yeah, man. Well, I'm not going to moan about the heat. I'm sat here with the beanie on, so you know what I mean. I'm just, I'm the idiot.
Yeah.
Still wears the hat.
Well,
I have a cold cold.
Yeah, exactly. That's more than I've got for once. I thought I'd best not have any tonight because if I go overboard, then I'll ruin tomorrow. And like you say, with it being an early start, there's a few of us on the. I keep wanting to call it the Boris bus, given JC's. Past affiliation with one Boris Kozlov, but it's the True Grit minibus. There's a few of us on there, so I'm going to be on that at 12, and then it's doors open from 1 p.m. I think, or at 1:30 tomorrow.
So, yeah, I didn't.
Sorry, it's half 12.
I was going to say half 12. I didn't mind it was half 12. So yeah, it's an earlier start.
It's somewhat different, which I'm looking forward to. It's a bit of a risk for really taking it to a new location and earlier and outdoor, but I'm not against any of it. I love a wrestling show that starts and finishes early because I'm an old man now.
Yes, yeah, you've got to get home, get your feet up, get your slippers on. But yeah, I mean, it's a risk, you know. We'll say this from the get go because obviously we've got the Pride show in a couple of weeks as well. So you know, I mean, it's kind of like two shows within such close succession of each other. But everybody thinks
it's like it's like sticking a Saturday night's main event and a night of champions really close together.
Yes.
Like a certain company's doing at the minute, but there's wrestling, there's barbecue, there's fire dancers, apparently still at Walkers, and so it's going to be proper, little festival vibes, and I can't wait to see what comes off. Because say we won't with James Carr as it comes to his handling on, the way he handles himself on True Grit shows, but as an actual promoter, he's top notch, as we always say.
Chef's kiss, and that's the thing as well, because it's not even like it doesn't even feel like a throwaway show kind of thing. It's not something that's been done for the sake of doing it. The inclusion of the Joey Slade David Grant match, obviously, which we'll get to, that shows, this match, this whole show means something. It's continuing on from previous True Grit shows. So it's not just like, we'll just have an afternoon out, we'll just put on a little bit of this, a little bit of that for people, try and get a bit of extra cash. Like, oh, this show matters. I'm gutted. I'm going to be missing it.
Yeah, that's a shame, mate. It won't be the same without you. But you say about how important it's going to be. But for the late injury to Kemper, there's going to be 4 titles on the line. Yeah. Tag titles, Pride title, women's title, and there was going to be the heavyweight championship. But sadly, as I say, Kemper's injured, so they've had to draft in a late replacement. Who the match is still at the top of the graphic, so we'll discuss that last. Yeah. But I think there's a bit of debate over what should actually main event the show, sorry. But we'll get to that at the end. I think. Should we just dive right into it, mate, and see what's what, and have a little predict and a preview?
Oh yes.
So first on the graphic is NRG, who a team who are beloved everywhere else, but in True Grit they've been naughty boys. They've been naughty boys doing Nathan Black's bidding last time we saw them. But they're up against a new team of Jake Silver and Dara Diablo that some people are dubbing Tashboat.
Tashboat.
Yeah, I'll take that. Why not? So, first and foremost, as we're going to say with everything, this is going to be a good match because you've got 4 solid pros. NRG, relatively new to the scene. Dara Diablo and Jake Silver, certainly Dara at this point, considered veterans. But to my knowledge, Dara definitely a wily veteran. Jake definitely seen his fair share of shenanigans. So I don't really know what to expect from this match, other than it's going to be banging. What were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, man, I'm hyped for this because, as you sort of said, I love NRG. I'm really excited whenever they get booked. I love seeing them at any promotion. Normally, as you sort of said, it's because they're the lovable kind of cheeky chaps. They're great in the ring. Obviously, at True Grit, they're a little bit gnarly, they're a little bit heelish, a little bit twatish. So I like seeing them at True Grit because it's different. I love NRG as good guys. They're just very likable guys. Behind. Not to pull the curtain back or anything, but anybody who knows me, I love Hamza, I love Mo. I think they're both awesome human beings. But it's nice to see them, stretch the heel muscles.
Yeah.
Keep stretching them like this, and they'll have bigger calves than Nathan Black in about 5 seconds.
So, if I had to press you for a prediction,
I'm going to say NRG purely because they're the established team. I love Dara and Jake again. Too, like what I said, they're the wily veterans. Jake's been around for 8+ years. Dara's been around since he had long, flowing, gorgeous hair. But it is a makeshift team. My logic is you can't have a makeshift team go over an established team, not just an actual tag team. It's one of my soapbox moments, dude. You know what I mean? I just as great as Dara is, as great as Jake is, as both great. Both guys are great in other tag teams, or when they're with their established tag team partners. Like you put Dara and Jimmy McIlwee together, yeah, awesome. Obviously, you put Jake and Jack together, like top tier. Those two together, that's two guys that haven't done the laps as far as I know as a team. So the established team should win.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I can't fault your logic. My pick for this has been sort of influenced by what I think is going to happen elsewhere. And, if we're looking sort of behind the curtain for a second, the heel face balance of winners, in front of a new audience and stuff like that. So I think we're going to have a bit of fun with Jake Silver and Dara Diablo. And I think I've predicted those two to take the win. But with our regular players of the Prediction League over on the Patreon, there's 9 of us again this time around, which is great. Love seeing that. You are only the second person to pick NRG.
Oh, okay,
2 of 9. So if they do win, then it's certainly, as far as this small sample size of fan goes, it'll be something of an upset. But when you put it like you put it, it makes all the sense in the world because functioning unit, teaming everywhere. Saw them at Planet just the other week. Against Misery Business.
Yeah.
Banging match. Absolutely loved it. And Misery Business on later in the card. So that's 1 vote each. In fact, we've started out disagreeing, which is always a nice thing.
Keeps it interesting, man. Keeps it interesting. What is next on the graphic?
Ooh, the big one. Looking at the predictions so far, our most divisive match.
Oh.
8 predictions. 4 each. Joey Slade versus David Grant. David Grant's debut in True Grit. Admittedly, I don't know much about him. I've never seen him wrestle. I know from Joey's video the other day that he's a big boy. Is David Grant? He's a big lad. He looks like he can do some damage. I just think Joey's going to have some backup.
Yep.
The regime did a lot of talking shit on a podcast recently. I think it was called Slack on the Right Side or something like that. But one of the few sensible things they said was that you never know who's going to be about in the regime. There's a few people on this card notable by their absence, on the poster at least, and on the graphics. There's always shenanigans with the regime. They went to great pains to say that Franco has a license. It wouldn't shock me if Sash dropped out of the tag match, ended up managing Joey again instead. But we'll see how that goes because it didn't work so well against Tim Strange. But yeah, I can't see past the shenanigans, so I'm one of the 4 people that has picked, begrudgingly, Joey Slade.
Well, I'm going to make it 6-4 because I agree.
Well, no, you're not. You're going to make it 5-4.
Well, no, because it was 4-4 before. You've just picked Joey, so that makes it 5.
Yeah, I know. I've already got my predictions down, so I was including myself in that.
Right, got you. Okay, so I'm going to make it 5-4 then. So I got the divide because my boy Joey, but David, Dave he's the Bruiserweight champion at Kumite. The dude can go. shenanigan free. I wouldn't want to call it on any given day. Either guy could win, but as you sort of said, you've got the regime, you got the interference, you got apparently all three of them have managers' licenses now, so any of them could just turn up, be in the corner, lend a hand, spout words of wisdom, to Mr. Slade. So yeah, it's Joey for me. True Grit, the regime. It's gonna be. I didn't notice as well, though. Obviously, the other day, Mr. Thorne on Twitter was
yes
having a few words to say. So we'll see what's
and to you as well.
Yeah, I know. I got into trouble for providing a platform for them plebs, in his words. So, like I said, man, I'm a sucker for punishment. I mean, I'm always going to let people talk, and but
is that why you had him on? You just wanted a quiet night. Where you didn't have to say much. Just let Sash and that lot run the gobs.
Exactly. Franco was just there looking big and hard, and Brad and Sash just basically talked. I just stood back and be like, yeah, cool, go for it. I've got to watch myself. I don't like stirring the pot. You know what I mean? I kind of keep myself to myself and just let those two go. I don't want to stir stuff up.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I'll let that one slide.
Yeah. Cheers.
Next up, we'll go your first this time. Natalie Sykes versus Alexis Falcon feels like a. Sorry about that. Door just shut there. Natalie Sykes, Alexis Falcon. What feels like a sort of de facto #1 contenders match for the women's title.
Yeah, Alexis Falcon obviously kind of having to prove herself again. She's had a couple of shots, failed both times, much to my chagrin. I had it pegged twice that she was going to win both times. I was like, yeah, Falcon. No, neither time. But for me, I'm always going to back Alexis. I think she'll win this one. But hyped to see Natalie Sykes back. We mentioned her, a few episodes back, sort of saying like, we missed her. Where is she? We haven't seen her at True Grit for a while. And then she appears. So it'll be a good match. Definitely.
Yeah, it will. I don't want to take credit, but I'm pretty sure JC listens to the show. He's obviously getting ideas from us. Or he's just sick of his fantasy booking. Probably the latter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you. It's going to be a good match. These two will actually meet next week as well. I believe they're both in a match at Thunderstruck for North. I can't remember what it's called. It's a Keg Stacker Golden Can Invitation or something like that. He's got a bit of a Willy Wonka thing going on, which sounds fun. But yeah, these two it'll be a banger. But I've gone for Alexis as well. She's on a roll, apart from losing to Rio. But there's never any shame losing to Rio, is there? Let's be fair.
Exactly.
And she's been on a roll elsewhere. I believe just won the NGW women's title as well.
Yep.
So, and if we get a third match between Rio and Alexis Falcon, I am all for it. It's kind of a no-lose situation. Let's be fair. Whoever wins, if they do get a shot, we win as fans. So I'm happy with that. But yeah, I've gone with Alexis as well. Just on a roll there. Actually, looking at this little spreadsheet I've got here, 4 of us have picked exactly the same so far, which I don't think's ever happened before. But yeah, so interesting myself. So I was a bit worried when I realised that I picked exactly the same as Tony, because Tony's track record isn't brilliant. But then I've also done the same as Chris Holt and Rebecca as well. Paul's other half, who unfortunately couldn't be here with us tonight. So yeah, that gives me a bit more confidence anyway.
Yeah, we love you, Tony, but yeah, mate, you got some bad life choices.
We love you, Tony, and look forward to seeing you on the bus tomorrow, mate. But your predictions are crap. Next up on the graphic, our first title match, the Pride Championship. Adam Bolt defending against Sammy Blue, relative newcomer to True Grit, in a sort of a match that puts the main event of the next show in a bit of jeopardy, really. Yeah. We've got the True Grit Pride Championship. Tony Wright's going to be in a ladder match for that one, but is he going to face Adam Bolt? That's the main question.
Or Supersonic Sammy Blue.
If he is Supersonic, or if we get a bit of Super Brat, because he came out at the Planet. last time I was there in the match against Natalie Sykes and Alfie.
The Super Brats, normally reserved for Blackheart fans. But yeah, that's it, because that True Grit has kind of gotten over. The fans have really liked Sammy, so I kind of think we'll get the Supersonic persona more than Super Brat, obviously, unless somebody pisses him off, and then yeah, who knows? Fucking tweeners, man, they just fucking can flip on a dime. But this match, though, in all seriousness, again, you've heard me many times just big up Adam Bolt. You know, the guy is fucking just awesome. And I love Sammy as well. You know, I've picked him up numerous times. I think the guy's awesome. I'm so hyped to see him in True Grit on a semi-regular basis. It's Adam Bolt every day of the week for me on this one, just purely because he's got to want to get to the ladder match. You know, he's got to want to be the Pride champion at the Pride show and be in that main event. I know Sammy will as well. Sammy will desperately want that belt to be able to take that spot, but it's Adam's to lose.
Yeah, this is the first clean sweep on the predictions. First, well, one of two possible ones, depending on how we go on the next few matches. But it's great to see Sammy get the opportunity so quickly. We've been impressed with him every time he's been through, whether it's been in triple threat, four ways, whatever. Potential banana skin for Adam, but yeah, I think he's going to be out to prove a point. I've predicted Adam as well. Yeah, I can't see past the champion. He's been dominant so far, and especially if he's got Jackie T with him.
I was about to say, he's always got Jackie T as well. Yeah. So basically, for Sammy, it's going to be a 2-on-1, which, as great as Sammy is, I just can't see him overcoming them odds, unfortunately.
Unless he's backed up by one of the Blackheart lads. If we see a Gung-Ho might come with him, somebody like that. I wouldn't mind seeing that happen. Or run to help out.
I wouldn't mind it. I mean, if it's going to be anyone, I'd imagine it being Mr. the Standout himself. I nearly said the bad two words, so I'll say the Standout. Billy Gung-Ho was a bit gnarly when he was at True Grit, so I don't think.
He was, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have anybody's back except for his own at True Grit. I think that's Gung-Ho.
This is the problem. I've spoken to him outside of wrestling since, and he's a sound lad, so it's easy to forget these things. And it's only when they're being a little bit gnarly. It's not like you're a good kid elsewhere and you look after your mates, and then in True Grit you're a complete shithouse like Joey Slade. But that's by the by. That's by the by.
Something about True Grit. I don't know if JC's kind of just getting in people's heads or whatever, but yeah, he's turning Gung-Ho into some sort of swan obsessed twat.
I thought you were going to come up with some eloquent then, and just twat.
Connoisseur. He's turning into a swan connoisseur. There we go.
A swanoisseur.
A swanoisseur.
Oh God! Right, bullshit aside, we've got to go to the next title match. And again, we're just going up the order of the graphic. It's Underpant Gnome number 2, Brad Matthews, and the Trash Man, part of the Reggie Me, against Misery Business. Unfortunately, I'll nip in first this time. Unfortunately, I think Shenanigan's going to play a part again. I don't see the regime losing at the first go. As arsehole as they are all pretty bloody good wrestlers. Let's be right. And make no mistake, I talk a lot of shit. I'm not on a contract, unlike some other people. Stu, merch man. Sorry, mate. But, they'll all batter the piss out of me. I'm under no illusion of that. They're hard bastards. But they're going to have a fight on their hands. They dismissed Alan Kay and Joe Wade again on that podcast interview they did. Somebody inexplicably gave them a platform. Don't know why. Yeah, who does that? Who does that? Just for an easy time, you don't have to talk. Because Alan's tough as old boots. Let's be fair. They talk about him not training. Man's been in more fights than they've had hot dinners, apart from maybe Franco. And Joe's just kick people in the head for fun. And they are former champions. Yes. Let's have it right, Misery Business. The no mugs. Again, I think it's just that I hate to acknowledge correct things the regime has said, but there's been a bit of dissension in the ranks with Misery Business. That if that raises its ugly head, coupled with the general regime shenanigans, I think the belts are going to stay with the three turds. I'm a bit Freebird rulers, the regime.
Yeah. Again, you know me, Misery Business, one of my favourite teams. Unfortunately, though, as you sort of said, I can't see the regime losing it just after getting it. Something's going to happen. There'll be shenanigans. Obviously, we know Joey's there because he's got a match. Franco says he's not there. He may turn up. JC may just even get involved.
I don't know with his dodgy hip.
It's been a few. I don't know. He might just come out with crutches now and just. I don't know, imagine just him cracking Alan. Blah.
I'm imagining him coming out with a full-on like golden pimp cane.
Yeah. It ain't easy. But I mean, I would love to see Misery Business with the belts again. I kind of like, I like the regime having. I like that angle. I like that sort of. I like to see the good guys chasing the bad guys for the belts. So I kind of like it when a heel. As soon as we've got a face champ, it's cool to have the heel tag team champs. Because it's all kind of it pulls that emotion. It gives us something to root for.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just. And again, I think Misery Business are all good now. I don't think there's going to be any sort of conflict there between them. They hugged it out, after the triple threat match, and I think they've made amends. So they're buddies again. So, but yeah, it's going to be an awesome match. I'll say that. And unfortunately, I'm going to say the regime will retain the belts.
Unfortunately, that's a load of bollocks. You've been sucking up to them for months. There's only one person in the predictions who's gone against the regime, to be fair, and that was Thomas, who predicted the double pin at the last show. So let's hope he's right. Let's hope he's right again. I've got no issues getting beaten predictions by a child.
Nope.
So next matchup is the women's title match. Rio against another returning face that we said we wanted to see more of, Lily Winter, who wasn't on the original graphics. I think, again, maybe a replacement because, if memory serves, Eve Bateman was on the original poster. So shame that Eve couldn't make it, but, another person gets an opportunity, which is no bad thing. This is another one where the voting is incredibly unanimous. And I've got a feeling it's going to be a clean sweep because, again, as talented as Lily Winter is, and we've seen Lily Winter to be, who's stopping Rio at the minute?
No, it's not going to happen. Lily and Troy, maybe. Lily, again, like you said,
both of them together.
Yeah, both of them together, taking on Rio, maybe. But yeah, obviously, great to see Lily back. But it's
first time since February.
Yeah, since York against Melissa First, was it?
Yeah, Fire and Ice.
Yes.
So yeah, it's good to see Lily back. It's been kind of in and out, but good showing here. Then take more. In fact, I'd have Melissa First versus Lily Winter too, if we could as well.
Yeah,
that'd be no bad thing. That was a good match. But yeah, Rio's just dominant everywhere, and I just don't see the Rio train slowing down anytime soon.
I said to my mate, I was just kind of like, obviously, I keep saying this, but making the most of Rio while we've got a kind of thing. Because for me, there's a few people you can look up and down the country, look at any given promotion, and you can kind of look at them and be like, British wrestling, finished it, mate. Finished it, completed it, done. Rio is one of those people for me.
Yeah.
It's just, completed.
Well, I think the only major women's title Rio hasn't won is possibly the Rev Pro Undisputed British Women's title that is currently held by Mercedes Moné.
Can you imagine that? Oh.
Yes, I can. I can indeed. But, Rio's CV, ICW champion, Progress champion. Rio's actually currently gunning for the ICW heavyweight title as well, I believe. I don't keep too much of an eye on ICW. Rio's been women's champion for God knows how long now. It might be nearly a year. I'll have to look that up. And I think we must be knocking on a year. Sorry, bear with me a second.
Right. There's been True Grit champion for a long time now as well, actually.
Yeah. No, this is what I mean. I'm trying to look back, but I don't think I was doing the prediction results at that time. I can't seem to find it. Anyway, that's by the by. Yeah, we've all picked Rio because she's really good at murdering people's faces.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, it was September, October time last year when you had ZZ versus Ivy. So Ivy must have dropped the belt to Rio before that.
Yeah, it must have been because Rio defended against Lizzie Ever last October, and then the Friday night show wasn't on that. That must have been in September. So yeah, it must have been July or August.
Yeah. So we're coming up to a year of Rio being the True Grit Women's Champion. And yeah, I mean, like I say, you know, I picked Alexis Falcon to beat her the last couple of shows. Cleanly, no, but I thought she would win. But yeah, you know, again, just it's no besmirchment to Lily, you know, that everybody's going for Rio. No, we're not sort of, you know, slandering. It's Rio. You know what I mean? You can be the second best, the best in the world. You know, there's no shame in that.
No, not at all. So, and for what it's worth, I think Rio Lily Winter's in with a good shout of being the main event. But the main event on the graphic, which could still take the spot, Vusic, the replacement for Kemper versus HT Drake. Now, Kemper versus Drake was going to be an incredible test for Kemper as champion. You know, and dealing with a veteran like Drake who can wrestle all styles. He's seen bigger than Kemper. He's beaten bigger than Kemper. He's a tough test. But for Vusic as well, Vusic, with his just sheer violence and Drake stepping up to match that, this is mouthwatering. It really is. This could be, without any hyperbole, a match of the year candidate for True Grit. And it will be as good or better as anything you'll see anywhere.
Yes.
Make no mistake about that. It's surprisingly in the predictions, it's a 7-1 split at the minute.
Or for Vusic, I'm guessing, yeah.
Yes. I think the thinking is, and certainly my thinking is, Drake already has his big feud sort of coming to a head at the next show.
Yeah.
Well, we assume that based on the graphic. Me and Nick aren't privy to any future shows, any future matches. We find out at the same time as everybody else.
We just fancy book it.
We just fancy book it, yeah. We've seen them both on the poster together. We're assuming it's HT Drake and Priscilla at the next show. So yeah, pretty much everybody's gone with Vusic apart from Luke. West York's 999 on the Discord. He's picked Drake. You know, if Drake had that momentum heading into the Pride show, then Showtime Showdown, then that's enormous for Drake.
Yeah.
But I can't see Vusic as the new co-number one contender losing unless there's shenanigans. And as we know, we always predict shenanigans, and it doesn't always come off unless it's the regime. So that's why I think Vusic's taking this one. The question is, Nick, are you with the majority or with the minority?
I'm with the majority. Fuck Green Day. The song was wrong. I want to be with the majority. Fuck the minority.
Just careful how you say that.
Yeah. Luke, apologies, Luke. Obviously, that's the only minority I'm on about. Just that one vote. But, you know, yeah, like I say, we kind of call shenanigans some of the times. We expect stuff to happen. Unfortunately, Drake is a miserable bastard who has zero friends. Ain't nobody going to come out to help him. So this is pretty much going to be a clean one-on-one match. Like sort of said, you know, Vusic potentially, they haven't announced it yet, but we're presuming he's co-number one contender. I know Kemper's come out and said that he'll take them both on. Whether I missed a post and it's official, I don't know. But
JC doesn't leave money on the table. No. And for the chance to have those three guys, you know, in the ring and potentially take out Kemper and Vusic in one fell swoop, I can't see JC leaving that money on the table.
No, definitely not. But regardless of the winner for this one, this will be, I'm hoping, this gets a solid 15 minutes. These two guys.
Give me 25.
Oh, mate, just give me a 60-minute Iron Man match. I don't give a monkeys. These two guys are two of the best wrestlers in this country today, bar none. Again, anybody knows. Again, I keep saying anybody knows me. Hopefully, enough people. I don't have to keep saying that. I could just kind of say, Vuzic, and everybody be like, oh, fucking hell, Nick loves Vuzic. He's the blueprint of the next generation of wrestlers, as far as I'm concerned. He is, and Drake is just the foundation of wrestling today. Drake is very much like Sam Bailey. He's such an underappreciated. I don't think he's underappreciated anymore. I think people are kind of realizing just how great they are. Especially Drake, he could. We said it before. You could put him in there with a broom or fucking just a dishcloth, and the man's pulling out a 5-star match. It's just he's that good. They are both that good.
I'll tell you what, though, it means that I don't know if the triple threat's going to happen in York. I hope it does, because it'd be great to have in York in August. But if we have to wait for that triple threat. Since Vusic's taken on HT Drake on this show, I wouldn't mind Brady Phillips versus Drake at York, just to even it out. I got the Nick Towers. Macaulay Culkin impression.
Just like, oh my god, mate. But again, the only downside to that would be heel versus heel. It's just kind of like you run the risk of Brady getting some cheers, I guess, or HT Drake get some cheers. But if that comes after the Priscilla thing, I don't know, maybe Drake sees the error of his ways and he's not such a miserable bastard after the August show. Maybe
the H stands for humbled. If he loses to Priscilla,
humbly tamed.
Priscilla's so weird.
Is humbly tamed. Drake.
I won't go tamed. I won't go that far.
No, I was going to say timid. That's far worse. Humbly talented Drake. There we go. But yeah, I mean, that would be, I'd love to see Brady Phillips versus HT Drake. That is, again, just two amazing wrestlers. But like you said, if you get that of this one, Brady Phillips versus, I don't mind, think of it like a pick your poison. If Vuzic turns around and says, right, I had to fight HT Drake, in July. Brady needs to fight somebody in August.
Billy O'Keefe or Jet Marshall.
Jet Marshall. That's about, either of those guys.
Boy. Well, Jet was supposed to be at York.
Yeah.
He had to pull out. So, I'd love to see Jet back in. But we're getting down the fantasy booking route again. We're getting away from WrestleFest. It's a true great show. It's going to be a banger. Everything in the ring is going to be great, as usual. People get bored of us saying that, but it will be. Come along, watch it when it drops. Because there's no trailer on this one because the logistics of filming outdoors just don't quite work. The area it's at, they need excellent Wi-Fi, and it's a beer garden, so it's not going to be.
No,
but it's wrestling, it's barbecue, fire dancers, stilt walkers. Just been confirmed on the Twitter that there is also going to be a face painting stall. I may come out of there looking like a sweaty, drunk, fat Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah. Yes.
Probably not, because I know for a fact that I'll just end up sweating it all into my eyes and going even more blind than I already am. So yeah, if you don't have a ticket, get down to Eggborough tomorrow. It's a Gould postcode. It says Gould. It's a village, not too far from Selby. If you're looking at getting a train somewhere and then getting a taxi, you can absolutely do that. Buses to Selby run from York easily enough. So yeah, just keep an eye out. And if you can get there, there's parking at the pub, obviously. If you can get there. Please do. It's going to be brilliant.
Yeah. Or if you can get to Leeds, I don't know if there's any spaces left on the bus.
I think at this time of night, it might be a little bit too late, and certainly tomorrow morning, it's probably going to be a bit late to start adding people on. But yeah, that's a shame. Keep an eye out for the buses. I don't think they've taken off really, which is a great shame because it's a great idea. Yeah. I'm really happy to finally be getting on one. But yeah, watch this space as far as the buses go. Obviously, True Grit will make the announcements. JC will put it out there, but it's a great shame if people aren't taking advantage of it.
Yeah, it's a great idea. It's like much. You know, JC is doing everything he can do to get people to get, you know, to be able to get to shows that they might not be able to get to, which is an amazing thing for a promoter to do.
As of time of recording, they are still on sale.
Cool.
There's, I think, by the look of it, 6 or 7 left in stock to be bought up. But that's as of 10:15 at night, the day before the show. So,
well, I'll try and get this edited and out this evening. Well, prior to midnight. So I don't know, if you're a late bird, if you're on a night shift and you get home about midnight, you're watching this, you think, oh yeah, shit, I'll get the bus. Get the bus. Get on there. Sort yourself out a ticket.
And it's the pickups from Leeds Station as well.
Yes. So there you go. But yeah, as Dan says, get yourself to the show. I am legitimately, genuinely freaking gutted I am not going to be there. But you know, every match is a left bank show match or a York show match. As I sort of said beforehand, none of these matches feel unimportant, feel thrown together for the sake of it, you know, just for the shits and giggles. Every match matters, every match means something, and it's just going to be awesome. So yeah, that's all I've got to say about it.
It's just not the true grit way to make anything feel unimportant.
No.
And this feels incredibly important. It's going to be a major stepping stone for the future, and let's see how it plays out.
And I look forward to, if you and Paul join me on Monday to do a review, I can just sit back and just listen to you two talk, and I will live vicariously.
He's after another easy ride again. He wants 2 people on to come on like the regime and do all the work for him by Towers.
I keep saying, like, nobody watches this to listen to me, so if anybody else wants to talk, that is perfectly fine. But dude, you know, thank you so much. But yeah, obviously, have a great day tomorrow. Please get the Ultimate Warrior face paint. I need to see a picture of that.
I'm sweating sat here recording. It's not going to happen. But what I will try and do is get some footage for you that you can maybe at least put together a couple of little reels for the show. I'll do my best for that.
You're a star. Cheers, dude. I'll ask Paul as well. So I can get a couple of different angles. I can make it look a bit like, ooh, you know, cut from this, cut to that. But yeah.
Multi-camera, wow. I'll make sure me and Paul are stood next to each other the whole show.
Oh, no, make sure you're on either side of the ring so I can get it from my... But I miss my multi-cam. I miss my multi-angles. I used to do that with Tidal. I used to get set like 2 footage from 2 different cameras, and I had to kind of sit there and kind of merge them all together and like lapse them over. It was just like, oh man, it was just good nerdy fun. But that's it. You know, so if you want to give yourself a shout out to where people can find what else you are up to, Dan, please do so.
I'll just do a quick wrap up. Dan Griffin 21 on Twitter and Instagram. Instagram's mostly just my sort of travels and wrestling shows that I go to and sporting events. Twitter's just any old bollocks that happens to be going on. If you want to hear more of me talking about stuff, SJP World Media, I do alternative football commentary on a show called The Volley with my strike partner, the magnificent Matt Lewis. And any wrestling content, head on over to Unbooking the Territory at UTT Podcast, where we've got loads of stuff covering from the Monday Night Wars to Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks to the Being the Elite title to a complete career chronology of Tank Abbott. So come along and join the madness over there.
Good. And obviously everybody else, you know, thank you for watching. Hit like, subscribe, share, comment, all the generic stuff we always ask you to do. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Keep your eyes peeled. Obviously I posted something the other day about future guests that are coming on. So yeah, you know, we've got Tim Strange coming up. We've got the 05. We've got my head's just gone to shit. Saxa, Blake Matthews, George Hunter from PPW. We've got some of the good stuff coming up. So Casey Payne. But yeah, so thank you for watching. And remember, always work the left side. And we'll see you again very soon. Goodbye.